tenor Enrico Rosati. In fact, Rosati had also trained many famous singers, including also Giacomo Volpi as well as Gigli. Well, when I first went to Maestro Rosati, he says, "You have a voice I have been waiting for since the 30, 40 years, since my bambino Bignano Gigli was just a boy." I was in awe of the man. What does a voice teacher do? He takes the talent God has given you, and he teaches you how to use it properly. Slowly, he took me through all the exercises, at first very pianistic, through the entire gamut of my voice. Soon I was able to sing for hours without becoming tired. A good voice teacher gives you the scales and the drills and the exercises that a singer must do every day of his life. Mi, it's what the Italians know as bel canto. Now, when I first went to Maestro Rosati, well, I had a problem with discipline. Sometimes I was late for the lessons. A couple of times I forgot the lesson. I would show up to the lesson without my music. It made the maestro very angry. Porca miseria, you're no good, don't come back no more, I don't teach you anymore. Well, fortunately, my friend, Sam Weiler, who was a very successful New York real estate tycoon who wanted to be a singer, but once he heard me sing, he gave up his own career ambitions and decided to support me, paying my bills, paying my living expenses, and paying for my voice lessons with Maestro Rosati. He interceded, and finally I got a habit of good discipline, showing up on time, showing up prepared, and I made a lot of progress with Maestro Rosati. After 15 months, I felt I was ready, and I signed with Columbia Concerts to do a tour. Well, the tour was so successful that Columbia formed the Bel Canto Trio with myself and with soprano Frances Jean, who they already had under contract, and with a baritone that I recommended, who also studied with Rosati, a baritone named George London, who went on to have a great career in opera. Together we did 86 concerts of operatic music and toured the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And everywhere we went, the critics gave us great reviews, and the audience always demanded I sing this aria. Well, at one of those concerts, we performed at the Hollywood Bowl, and in attendance was a gentleman by the name of Louis B. Mayer, who was head of MGM. He was so impressed by my performance, he invited me to do an audition at MGM Studios. So I was brought to the studio, and I stood behind a scrim so nobody could see me, and he had assembled all of his important directors, and he had me sing 3 or 4 numbers, and then he brought me around to introduce to his directors the face behind the voice. Well, several of the directors took me under their wings, and so I was signed to a 7-year film contract with MGM, and soon they had decided on my first picture, That Midnight Kiss. Well, when I signed to do that first picture, I weighed well over 200 pounds. You see, the last thing Louis B. Mayer wanted was another overweight singer. Judy Garland was already giving him ulcers with her constant eating binges. So he sent me to fitness trainer of the stars, Terry Robinson. He told Robinson, "I think this boy could be a very big star, but I don't want a big balloon on the camera. See what you can do with it." Well, even though Terry got me down to a very trim 169 pounds, my first screen test was a disaster. I looked all out of proportion on the screen. They even had to design special clothes just so I would look okay. That was the beginning of my constant weight changes. I'd put weight on to do the recording sessions and then take weight off for the filming, then on again, and off again. Well, when that picture was released, it totally changed my life. I could no longer go anywhere without being recognized. I was mobbed everywhere I went. Oh, and my fan mail. It was so hot, I couldn't leave it around the house. Then there were the full-length nude photos. Unbelievable. People would come to my home and demand that I come out and have a picture taken with them. I remember listening when I was in the backyard in my patio, one lady yelling down at the gate, "I bought a ticket to see That Midnight Kiss. I helped pay his salary. He had better come out here now." Needless to say, I didn't go. People would actually rummage through my garbage looking for souvenirs, and the scandal sheets were making up crazy, terrible, malicious lies about me. My life was becoming crazy. Also, I didn't have a name anymore. My name became Sing. Everywhere I went, it was "Sing, Mario, sing!" They didn't invite me. They invited the voice. One night, I was attending a party, and the host, without even consulting me, stood up and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Lanza is here, and he's going to sing for us tonight." Well, enough was enough. I sent word up to Terry that I had a sore throat and wouldn't be singing. Little did I know that our host was an important director, and that refusal caused a big ruckus back at the studio and was the beginning of my reputation for being difficult and temperamental. And the press began distorting my every move. If I gained 2 pounds, it was 20. If I ate 2 hot dogs, it was 2 dozen. If I ordered food for my friends, I was a glutton. Oh, and the best one of all, if my hair wasn't perfectly combed, I must have been up all night drunk. Well, on a happier note, during the filming of my second movie, The Toast of New Orleans, I actually celebrated my 29th birthday on the set with a huge birthday cake with lovely little figures of myself in the role and my name, and I had my family there and my friends. And after the celebration, I invited the cast and the press over to my home for one of my mom's great Italian dinners. It was a great day. But pretty soon, the press began referring to me as the fat tenor, or the chubby tenor. One morning, I actually picked up the paper, and there in big, black, deadly letters, it said, "It isn't any wonder Lanza is so fat, he eats 2 pounds of spaghetti washed down by a gallon of milk just for breakfast." I should have listened to Victor de Sabata when he came to Los Angeles to persuade me to open the 1950-1951 opera season the La Scala Opera House in Milan, Italy, singing the role of Cavaradossi in Puccini's Tosca. I told them I felt that I was too inexperienced and I should first work myself up in smaller theaters. What a mistake that was. If I'd accepted that one engagement, I would be looking back on a career as a great opera singer rather than being regarded as a Hollywood buffoon. And when Gaetano Manola, who was chief conductor and artistic director of the San Francisco Opera, scheduled my performance as Andrea Chenier in October of 1950, I was a fool to withdraw, telling him, "Maestro, I'm only 29. There's lots of time." What a jerk I was. What a fool. That one performance could have meant the beginning of a great career in opera. So instead, the papers were referring to my great battle with the bulge, and RCA was shoveling in money for my albums, and MGM was taking in record box office income from my films, and everyone was humming this tune. It's a well-known fact that an operatic singer delivers a more resonant tone when he has more weight on him. So for my next picture, the great Caruso, I guess I did everything in sight. You see, I wanted to sound my very best as Caruso. But when it came time to shoot, Mary yelled at Terry, "Get this leg down, he looks like an oversized cow." My metabolism was being manipulated like a yo-yo and my nerves were shot. To make matters worse, the papers were making up strange stories about me, and hate mail started coming in, including a threat to kidnap my daughter. Betty and I were just frantic. We didn't know whom to trust. I even had Terry sleep on the daybed in the living room where he could watch the front door, and we put full security measures into effect, including having all packages checked for bombs. I was a nervous wreck. Nevertheless, I made up my mind that the great Caruso would be the best performance I had ever given. And when it was released, suddenly I was a hero again. bellezze insiem confonde, ma nel ricerco sei. Il mio sole è nel cielo, il mio sole è in cielo sei tu. Well, when the film was released, it was a big hit. And the money started pouring in, and what was left of my privacy went right out the window. We embarked on a concert tour across the nation to promote the film. And everywhere we went, kids pulled my hair, they tore off my clothes. I felt like a caged animal. They'd even climbed the fire escape in the hotels we were staying, trying to get into my bedroom. And all I wanted was to be left alone. That's when I first thought about moving to Italy. Yes, going to Italy really seemed like the solution to all my problems and stress. I really look forward to my plans to get away. Guarda, guardi stu giardino, sientesi sti sciuri arance, no profumo a tu sigino, rinchio cuore se ne va, e tu dici parta Dio, t'allontana stupore, sarà sta terra dell'amore, ascetato fai e sogna, ma non me lascia, non darmi stu tormento, torna sorriento, a me campà. Well, Metro let me fatten up again to record the music for their next project, The Student Prince. Once all the music was recorded, I had a big fight with the director of the film and stormed off the set. MGM wanted to sue me for breach of contract, but after much discussions and negotiating and haggling and wrangling, and we finally reached an agreement whereby I would allow the studio to use my recorded voice, and in a later time that another actor would portray the role in my place. Another picture was coming up, and I was ready to do more serious roles like opera, like The Great Caruso, but Metro wouldn't hear of it. They said, "You'll do the film because you're mine and you'll like it." Well, I told the reporter, now they're going to see what it's like to deal with a really difficult star. Gable's just a lamb. I'm the real lion. That started the media up all over again. Temperamental antics of Lanza driving MGM daffy. Lanza says I'm bigger than the whole studio. And then the weight problem again. Put weight on to do the recordings, take weight off for the filming, and on again. Between my nerves and the constant dieting, I had lost so much weight during the filming of this picture that the studio had to recall me more than once to reshoot some of the scenes so they could blend in the fat me with the thin me. And the press just couldn't make up its mind about me either. Between the horror stories on the one hand and the rave reviews on the other, it's like I was two different people. They both enraged me and depressed me all at the same time. Lanza is fact. That's all they ever talk about. That's me up there on the screen, and I'm the one they're calling names. I can't even get a sore throat like I did in Las Vegas without being crucified. Well, soon I'll be dead, and the truth will come out. None of you people understand, you know. It's the voice that does something to you. It comes from inside. It starts even all the way down at the toes and pours out. I get into another world. I only could forget when I sing.
Catari, perché ne dicesti parole amare, perché ne parli cuore me, turmiente Catari, non ti scordà, cataggio occorre Catari, non ti scordà, Catari, Catari, che bene a dicere, tu parla come da spasare, a tu non c'è piense su dolore mio, tu non c'è piense, tu non te ne cure.
Next, I have to tell you about one of the moments in my life I'm most proud of. One morning, Terry, who stayed with Betty and I at the house, had a call from a man named Mr. Fasano from New Jersey about his daughter. And he told Terry the story about how ill his daughter was with leukemia and what a big fan she was of my films and my singing. And so Terry said, I'll talk to Mario about us and see if we can get him on the phone to talk to the daughter, Rafaela. Well, I talked to the daughter a few times, and I was so impressed with her joy and her enthusiasm in her life that I actually invited her to come to visit me at my home in California. We flew her out there, and she stayed at our home. We threw birthday parties for her. We had all the neighborhood kids over, and I even took her on the set of Because You're Mine and let her see how we work in Hollywood, and she just had a fantastic time. Now, we became very close, and I would call Rafaela every Friday, when possible, at about 12 o'clock, and I would sing to her, and we would talk, and I'd spend about half an hour, and we did this every week for about 2 years. And then one Friday, the day before my birthday, I called, and her father got on and said she had died the night before. I was very sad and crushed by that, but I was so glad that I had made a difference in the life of that little girl. But then next came for me one of the most difficult periods in my entire life. Louis B. Mayer had been replaced at MGM by Dor Shari, a man whom I just could not stand. He and I continually clashed over my desire to do greater things in my films. Well, after Dor had produced The Student Prince with British actor Edmund Purdom, lip-syncing to my singing voice, MGM fired him much to my satisfaction. And then the great financial empire, which I thought I had built up for me and for my family, and the millions of dollars were starting to crash down around me. You see, my manager, Sam Weiler, a man whom I trusted, had made some terrible investments. And my finances were crumbling down, and I was near bankruptcy. And the IRS was even after me for over $250,000 in back taxes. Not only did it affect my health, I was an emotional wreck. I just did not want to see anyone. I lost my voice. I couldn't sing. I couldn't work. I was at the absolute bottom. And then when I would try to pull myself back together, all I would hear is how fat the guy is, and how talented the guy is, and how egotistical and how temperamental. I felt everyone was out to get me. Well, this is what got me through my next picture.